What is going on, IF Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about when do you become fat adapted. And this video is the natural progression to that video, in which some questions were still being asked about the fat burning process and about fat adaptation. So this video will dive into when do you actually start becoming fat adapted. Stay tuned. First, let's talk about what is fat adaptation. Fat burning is when you actually burn body fat stores that are inside of your body. But what is fat adaptation? Fat adaptation is when your body can run primarily and efficiently on body fat. The reason why most people are not fat adapted is because they haven't set up the scenario for them to be fat adapted. The body will choose glucose over fat if glucose is readily available. There are a few ways that you can minimize the glucose in your body to keep your insulin low. When your insulin is low, you use more body fat stores for energy. You can do the keto diet that reduces carb intake to a very minimal amount and increases the macronutrient fats to basically starve your body of the glucose that can come from carbs. However, even with the ketogenic diet, there is still some glucose that goes into your body. The best thing to do is not to intake any food at all, which will actually reduce your insulin. There will be no glucose going into your body, and that would allow your body to use the actual body fat stores as energy. This continuous practice of consistently forcing your body to use body fat storage instead of carbs or glucose for energy pushes you further and further into fat adaptation. And now everyone is different in this extent as well. Some people may become more fat adapted more quicker than others. Do you crave carbs a lot? Do you find yourself constantly wanting some sort of bread or cake or sweets or those kinds of foods, bagels, stuff like that? If you feel that you crave those things a lot, then you're going to see why this is different for other people. Some people don't crave carbs that much. That means that their body has not become as addicted to the macronutrient carb than those who do crave carb. The first phase takes about 2 to 3 weeks. That first phase is basically the carb withdrawal phase. If you ensure that your high level activities are done when you're in a fasted state, that means you are forcing your body to use more body fat storage for the energy source and not carbs, because it's been depleted from your body. The glucose has been depleted. But if you're addicted to the usage of glucose instead of fat storage, it is going to be really difficult for you in the beginning. And this beginning stage is about 2 to 3 weeks. Within that time frame, you will go through withdrawal. Think of it as a drug addict. Someone who is addicted to any type of drug, if they go into a rehab center which is keeping them from that drug, they feel horrible. However, a few months later, on the other side, they feel better than they did when they were taking the drug. That is because their body was extremely addicted to the drug, wanted the drug. However, the person stopped taking it, so the body adapted accordingly and no longer needed that drug. And this in turn makes the person feel better than they did when they actually took the drug to begin with. So that small period, that 2 weeks to 3 week period, has to happen for the process of fat adaptation to move forward. You'll be about halfway there once you've eliminated the addiction or the craving for carbs. You do this by implementing intermittent fasting, increasing your fasting windows per day, doing a 20-hour fast or doing 1 meal a day. If you want to speed this up, you can lower your carb intake so you can get closer to the 2 weeks and further away from the 3 weeks. Even with the ketogenic diet, if you were only to do the ketogenic diet, it is not as powerful as implementing intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting ensures that your body will starve itself from sugar, glucose, from carbs, and even from protein because of the fact that you're not consuming anything at all. Like I said, if you want to move into this process faster, the longer you fast, the better it is, but I don't recommend going above the 48-hour mark, as all the other health benefits of intermittent fasting will start to drop off during that time frame. The next phase will take about 2 months to get you into that fat adaptation mode. It'll probably be a month and a half to about 2 months, depending on your body type and your ability for your hormones to adjust. This hormone upregulation is the switching of everything your body was used to before you started intermittent fasting. If you're consistently fasting for this amount of time, your body has already completely accepted its new lifestyle. And what happens is it starts to switch and use body fat as fuel as a reflex. So you can actually even eat carbs at certain points and it'll still use some glucose, but it'll be very easy for it to switch off of the glucose and go right into burning the body fat. This is when you are at a good level of fat adaptation. Your body now can run completely on fats and you feel absolutely energized, fully energized, as if you were taking something that actually gave you energy. But in reality, your body has become so comfortable in using body fat stores as your energy that there's no longer a resistance there. There's no tiredness, there's no fatigue, there's nothing there when you are in a fasted state. It is very easy for you to fast at this point. And you can safely say that you're fat adapted around this mark. As I said before, the longer you fast throughout the days, the faster you speed up the process. The more you lower your carb intake throughout this time frame, the faster you become fat adapted. But for a rule of thumb, you can go ahead and say 2 months. The first phase is 2 to 3 weeks, which is the withdrawal phase, which is the hardest phase for you to switch off of using glucose predominantly for energy. Your body will fight against this and make you feel tired and dizzy spells and all of these things during that time frame to get you to go ahead and eat those carbs, put those glucose in your body to prevent you from moving into using fat stores. If you give in, you will ruin your progress. If you stay the course, you will be better on the other side. And once you get into that 2-month range, you will technically already be fat adapted at that point, and you can do heavy activities. As you can see, I even ran marathons on a complete 24-hour fast. This is because I've been fasting for so long that I am 100% fat adapted and have no problems going 24, 48 hours without eating and doing high level activities. Now, to be at the highest level of fat adaptation takes much more time than that. It actually takes up to 2 to 3 years to be at an extreme level where it's very difficult for your body to even switch back. Because you've done it so consistently for so long, your body has made it an absolutely natural thing where you have completely retrained your body. Your hormone upregulation is now completely different than it was 2 years before when you were eating normally without any fasting breaks. You can now freely eat carbs and it is very difficult for your body to completely switch back to the way it was before. You are now in the true full 100% high level fat adaptation state. But you don't have to worry about that time frame. Just worry about the time frame that you have in front of you. Just worry about the short-term goal of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 2 months. And trust me, once you hit that 2-month mark, you will be fat adapted. Your body will be extremely efficient at burning body fat for fuel. Your body will be even more efficient at switching from glucose immediately into body fat storage for energy without causing any perception of sluggishness or strain or fatigue. So that's it, guys. That's how long it can take for you to get from dependency on carbs to dependency on fat stores. Your body will use one of the two. If carbs is regularly available, your body will not see the need to switch from carbs or glucose for energy to fat storage. You have to make that choice. You have to decide to weather the storm to create that fat adaptation mode that's going to be extremely beneficial for you. We also have much more body fat in our system than we can have glucose at any one given time. So things that require high level energy stuff like running a marathon, doing sports, those kind of things, you will actually be much better off if you are fat adapted because you have almost nearly unlimited fat stores to tap into. You cannot burn straight through all your fat stores as quickly as you can burn through your glycogen storage. And I want to thank my patrons for my Patreon, and I'm going to put their names right up here. I'll see you on Wednesday for another FAQ. Peace!